Hello, you are very welcome to this deep dive on how to get AI ready with better data management. My name is Perttu Salli and I am leading the data management business area in Solita, Finland.
Yes, and my name is Kaisa Väärä and I'm working as a data specialist and I've been working in many master data projects.
We have also today with us Jesper Krode, who is Director of Product Innovation in Stibo Systems. Me and Kaisa, we come from Solita, and we are utilizing data and IT and making impact that lasts by combining them with human insight. And of course, cooperation with our tech partners. As an intro or preface for this one, so many of you might be excited about the potential and rapid development of AI agents and other AI capabilities. They need good quality data, and there are other pressures for good quality data like regulations and sustainability. However, you might also be wondering that how you can navigate this urgent transformation successfully. A gap often exists between strategic plans and IT realities, balancing outdated and new services around your data asset. And you may be asking yourself about your company's maturity, particularly in the areas of governance, processes, IT systems, and of course data quality. This deep dive could be named a governance deep dive or data quality deep dive, as you like. This webinar is for you who would like to understand and communicate the importance of data management in AI and see what all capabilities you should have and how to organize around them. The big question is what happens when you should scale up your data management capabilities fast. And that's the reason why organizing data management is top 3 priority of CIOs. But we wanted to bring some reference framework here, and this one is from Gartner. And they are saying that you should shift from traditional data management towards data-centric AI, or we would put it AI-ready data. The data has to be connected. It brings together different data sources, systems for structured, semi-structured and unstructured data, concepts, items and their relationships. It has to be curated. It resolves issues with data duplication, data integrity and data quality. It has to be contextual. It preserves implicit and explicit data relationships, including the metadata context from both business and operations perspectives. And it has to be continuous. It's about automatically adding new data concept, detecting issues to support your data, and frequently refreshing data to support AI with the most recent information. But what it means in terms of capabilities, you are having some capabilities in better or in worse shape, like master data management, data quality, and so forth. Thinking of data, master data management. So it is a single capability, but if you make it happen, so it primarily adds the accuracy and secondary the accessibility, but it also contributes to the other ones. Thinking of data quality, if you add some capabilities there, you add the relevancy and secondarily the accuracy, and information governance is linked as well. Metadata management, data privacy and security, and data privacy being the latter ones. And by adding these capabilities, your data quality adds up, and that gives you one truth across the enterprise. But in our recent studies, we have noticed that poor and missing and siloed data are the major cause for the problems of the AI projects. And we put it that don't make that kind of point-to-point one-purpose only spaghetti. Because if you hard-code the data rules to 2 parallel data pipes, they don't give you the same results. Things to consider: how to move from talking about data to commonly accurate information. And now Kaisa will tell 2 examples. The first one is a case study of machine learning and AI, and the second one is about generative AI use case.
Yes, So starting with the first one, where the customer realized that the pricing for the contract was inconsistent, which then affected the profitability of the company. And how they wanted to solve this was by creating an AI that would check the information on the contracts that are being made and then compare it to historical data, and based on that recommend a suitable pricing for that contract. And how the contract is created at the company is that it's first done in a web application, and after it is signed there by both parties, the information is then moved to the CRM system and then from there onwards to their ERP system. And because there were no clear data governance rules or processes behind this, the information about the contracts could be changed separately in each of these systems. And when our AI team started to gather the source data for creating the AI model, they noticed that there were some cases where for one contract they could find 3 different prices from these 3 different source systems. This meant then that the AI team had to focus on solving these data issues rather than focusing on creating the best AI model. In the end, they got the AI-powered pricing recommendations done, but the recommendations can only be as reliable as the source data is. And for a small proof of concept like this, working with this kind of data might work, but when you want to scale up further, you need more data, and the issues become also bigger. But then, in the next example, there was a company that realized that their customer service is using a lot of time replying to the same questions, and they were really simple and repetitive questions. So they wanted to solve this by creating a Gen AI that would answer these questions based on the documentation that was already existing. And when the AI team started to work on this, they were actually surprised by how well the customer already had their documents structured in their document management systems. And by having this structured and AI-ready data from the beginning, the AI team could actually focus on developing the AI model and not spend time to figure out the data issues. The structured document management system also made it very easy to add a security layer to the model. So, for example, when a customer from a specific company asked something, the Gen AI model knew that they can search for the answer only from that specific customer's folder in the document management system. And because the data is already in the system, it's really easy for the company to scale this proof of concept further, because they don't have to use time to find the correct data and figure out if it's reliable, but they can use it and it's AI ready. But now, Bertto, please tell us how to get AI ready data.
Yes, exactly. How to get there. You should aim for well-managed source data or information, whether it is documents or structured data, like in these examples. But what do you think about the core systems and their support teams? Do they hinder or enable your AI initiative? Usually there is this enthusiastic AI team, but does it apply to the whole company? You should really get all the required people on board. That might be defining AI governance or even new organization structures, because this is a major change. You better keep the data and the whole AI initiative in your hands, because you have all been in conferences where different vendors are just presenting new AI agents and new ways of utilizing data. And I would say, again, that the required change is to get all on board. Thinking of this 80-20 division, what we have seen many times, that 80% is kind of like old IT systems. During the decades, there are scattered data and siloed data and so forth. And 20% is AI compatible, some cloud services and so forth. And that applies to people as well. So how to tackle this So I would give also advice of discontinuing some old systems, because less is more. Then you have more time and energy to spend on the new area. And here the target state would be that 80% would be AI-enabled services and teams, and 20% only the needed core systems to do the transactions. And to become AI-ready and data-centric instead of application-centric. And quite many companies, when they have been developing different applications, they have been like cloud first. But what if it would be data first, like enterprise architecture data first, so that common information would be easily available from all the systems and cloud environments. The next example is about that good foundation. So please, Kaisa.
Yes. This example is about Coxa. And Coxa is a healthcare company that specializes in artificial joint surgeries. And Solita and Coxa have been working together for over 9 years, so it's been a very long collaboration. And now I'll highlight a few key things on why it has been so successful. So starting with the multi-skilled team that is working there. So there is actually only one team that is working with both analytics and smart applications. And for both of those, they are using the same data. And because of this, and by having all the data there in one place, it's super easy when they want to develop new applications, because they know where to find the data and they know who to contact because it's only the one team. And then another super important part of this success has been the agile model that they have been used for the development. So there the developers, the business and the end users, meaning the doctors and nurses who are actually doing the surgeries, and also other hospital staff, are involved in the development process, and they are figuring out together what would bring most value to Coxa. And they are doing this iteratively, which means that after each iteration, the development team demos the solution to the end users and the business, and they are getting continuous feedback. So they are able to create the applications and go to the right direction and actually know that they are bringing more value to Coxa. And one great example of a smart application that they have been building is this, where they are planning how to use the surgery rooms. So they are taking into consideration each surgery team's requirements, and with that they are planning the utilization so that the rooms are always utilized. And because of that, the number of surgeries at Coxa has over doubled in the past 9 years, but at the same time they haven't increased the costs for the customers. And of course, partly because of that, the customer satisfaction is really great also at Coxa, and they have been able to get an incredible NPS of 98.
Thank you, Kaisa. And as we saw, the quality of data, it really determines the success of every data platform, of application, AI experiment or production deployment, data strategy or cloud migration. And thinking of AI-ready data in action, I would assign 70% of the resources on making reusable information assets with your data management capabilities so that they would match your AI ambitions. Because without major investments in data management capabilities today, you risk on falling behind. And what we have today been talking, it is, you can call it data product methodology or information governance. Metadata management is a core area there. It's only that you find that kind of terminology and methodology that the different counterparties in your company can cooperate. And we would suggest as conclusion that you would link your AI to the information layer. You would define your calculation rules only once. Your source data would become trustworthy information, and that proper information layer and well-functional governance, they are really critical. And we are usually really good with corporate strategy and data strategies, and we are good with technology, so the lowest and highest ones. But in the middle layer, where the data is transformed into information which has context and commonly agreed definitions, that's lagging. So thinking of the data scientist who is wondering that how to find the right balance of speed and structure, because there are new concepts to retrieve data fast, like model context protocol. So where to link it in the data management framework? So don't link it to the technology side, because then you get only raw data. But please do link it to the information area where the conceptual data has been agreed. And thinking that how to proceed from here, please check the crash courses on AI, on data products, on data catalogs. And if you are not so sure how to proceed from here, consider a data management maturity assessment. If some thoughts arose that you are not so ready yet to think that how to go forward, think of that data and AI vision study, and there are several references of those available, what we have also done. And if you are thinking that 80% of the people are not quite there, consider some training and AI masterclasses. And even today, you can start the job of getting your data management to the track by listening to the next part by Jesper.
Kaisa, Tertu, Solita, thanks for having me and for having Stibo Systems in this deep dive around AI-ready data. We're honored to be here, and I want to thank you, everybody out there, for watching. Stibo Systems is a business with a conscience. We've been in our business since 1794. It started as a newspaper business in Aarhus in Denmark. And fast forward 200 years, we're now solidly rooted in master data management, a discipline of data management that is utilized by global brands around the world to manage their data, to build a better business and hopefully a better world. We believe that, and we can see that global brands engaging with our offices worldwide and our round and about 800 employees, they benefit from our solutions on a day-to-day basis. I have 3 parts to my presentation where I'm going to share some exciting customer cases with you, customer case stories of real-world examples of how data and AI can be combined. Before I do that, I want to give you a little bit of a context around what is it that we do, what is master data management, and what we do is we help global brands govern their most trusted data in their information supply chain. And master data, you might think of that traditionally as PIM or product master data management. It's more than that. It is managing product data, customer data, supplier data, location data, all the way from your enterprise resource platform or planning system to your online commerce, all the way from supply, fulfillment, shipment, from order to return. Our customers consume our solution in the cloud, and we enable them to govern and master their data, all fueled, as you can see on the slide, by AI. Examples of master data, as I said, product master data, customer master data, supplier master data, location. As I said, we're a business with a conscience, so we obviously also support our customers in their sustainability initiatives by supporting a sustainability data cloud offering where our clients can manage their ESG data and more. So I'm going to take you straight into the first customer case study. It is around AI with MDM, or MDM with AI, as the slide says. Time is in patient care. It's healthcare, and they support information, communication, and documentation processes in routine care. They improve health and healthcare by providing key information to their customers at the right time and the right place, and therefore they also leverage our platform. They had their original challenge in customer data records across disparate systems, 400,000 of them, and they needed a solution to deduplicate, match and merge those customer data records so that they knew exactly what customer were they referring to when they were referring to a particular data record. Now, some of the challenges they had in that was inconsistent and spelling, misspellings, incomplete data. And what they did was, in combination with our MDM platform on customer data and generative AI, they used AI to cleanse some of that data even before it entered our system. And the advantage of that was that using then our built-in native AI application to match and merge customer data records, they obtained a much higher and better result in the combination of generative AI, pre-entering data into the system, and built-in native AI solution inside the system to identify duplicate records. This is an example of AI success powered by MDM. So we heard Perttu and Kaisa talk about this whole concept of AI-ready data. And this is where MDM can play a critical and crucial role in your enterprise, because it helps you standardize and clean your data. It helps you provide lineage in your data, where in this example of team customer data records that are being merged because they're actually the same. Where do they come from? What systems did they originate in? That lineage is critical to understand and explain why an AI makes a suggestion. It's applying data quality rules. We'll get back to that in a little while, and business rules to enforce rules and governance around your data. But we also, in the case I mentioned, that they use generative AI, and how does MDM help there? Well, MDM applies governance on your data, no matter where it comes from. It can be keyed in by a manual process, but it can also be automatically generated through AI. And how do you trust that? Well, you trust that because you have an MDM layer that enables you to ensure that the data is fit for purpose, it's bias-free, and all those things that we've learned in the last 2 years in the rise of generative AI. So it's about business value with AI and data governance. It is about improved decision making. You will get more accurate product data. The previous example was customer data. Doesn't matter, same thing. And it enables you to make better business decisions. It helps you build operational efficiency, streamlining your process, and it gives you a competitive advantage over your competitors because you have better data to run your AI projects. Now, that was one example. I have a couple more. Ferguson, they provide expertise in and on a wide range of products and services, from plumbing, heating, ventilation, appliances, lighting, PVF, waste, and water management. And the data challenge they had, where we brought AI and master data management in, was in this whole construction industry is fragmented across a wide range of assortments. Ferguson is a distributor, so they need to have a good control of their supply side data. And they have a huge assortment. So how do they manage and govern all of that information? They leveraged AI to better onboard their information. All the information that they need from supply side needs to be categorized. It needs to be quality checked. And due to the amount of data, that influx is something where you need a machine to help you. And they built that using our MDM solution powered by AI. It enabled them to actually get to a 92% accuracy. And you might argue, okay, is that good enough? Well, if it's better than what a human process could do, then it's better than what you had before. So obviously, you still need to consider human in the loop when you adopt an AI recommendation. But at the end of the day, you can achieve better results much faster and achieve operational efficiency. To categorize your data is one part of achieving good data quality, because not until you know what you're talking about, am I talking about an air conditioning, am I talking about a piece of plumbing, am I talking about a faucet? Once I know what I talk about, I can start to categorize it, and once I categorize it, I know what attribution I can put against that particular item in my system. And when it comes to data quality, you need to measure that because, as we heard, AI-ready data is all about high data quality. So there's a framework you can use, and we're not necessarily subscribing to that one particular framework. I'm just going to build out the slide here to show you all these different aspects of this particular framework. It's from the Data Management Association, DAMA. You can look it up online. There are many others, but we find this one quite good, and I'm not going to take you through all these different dimensions, if you will, of data quality, but just a few. Your data needs to be valid. You need to have attribution rules, you need to have business rules that govern the management of your data so that your users or your AI agent knows when it makes a wrong decision, a wrong recommendation. You simply need to have those guardrails on your data to achieve a good validation of your data. Having valid data is not necessarily enough because you need to make sure that your data is complete. If you're missing information, then you may not even be able to trade that item downstream e-commerce. You may not be able to do fulfillment, etc., etc. So you need completeness, and for that you need a tool that supports that. You need to make sure that your data is unique, and that's the example going back to Time. If I don't know what customer I'm talking about, then I could be potentially in trouble. And then it needs to be unique, and it needs to be timely. It needs to be up to date. If it's dated information, dated data that you're working with, that's obviously not good. The last example I'm going to show you or give you, the last customer case I'm going to give you is how MDM success can be powered by AI. So what does that mean? Before we talked about AI-ready data for your AI initiative. Now we talk about fueling MDM with AI like we do with our platform. That enables you to do business process innovation. It enables you to look at how can I optimize the processes in my business to make it faster, better, quicker. Get ahead of competition, utilize that window of opportunity for sales. When you do that, you need to make sure that, or at least we recommend that you are looking at being AI agnostic. We're working with different vendors, including Microsoft, but also others to help us build better solutions with MDM. And whenever you do that, the last piece may be seen on the screen is a little off compared to the first two, but it's really important that you consider human in the loop and that you consider full automation with AI versus something that is a purely manual process. Somewhere in that middle, you need to define where is the AI recommendation good enough so that I can cut out the human in the loop, and where is some of that data critical so I need someone to approve it. So last case, direct supply. They also had a data challenge of slow data onboarding, inconsistent and incorrect data from supply side. Direct supply has been committed to improving healthcare operations and resident outcomes with industry-leading platforms. They address healthcare's biggest challenges, advanced procurement capabilities to help operations around elderly homes with data-driven supply chain. We help them through AI, and we also inspired them to run some of their own projects on AI web scraping and scraping AI sites for product information and compare that to what they had in MDM. And then with that also embed AI to onboard data faster through recommendations, and they did that. And going back to the completeness metric we talked about before on quality, they achieved a fill rate, an attribute fill rate of a 230% improvement over what they had before. What did that mean? Less returns. Because when consumers bought their products, they knew what they were getting. So they could see all the information as they made the purchase decision. So with that, I'm coming to the end of this little short presentation in our talk around AI-ready data today. And just a few key takeaways from our side. As we've heard many times, repeat data quality is key for AI success. We know that. I mean, AI doesn't work if it doesn't work with good data. So when you consider that, consider a framework for measuring data quality, and then consider looking at a tool that will support you in your MDM journey, in your data journey towards better data. And when you do that, why not consider a solution that also enables not just product information and customer, but also supply side information, supplier information, location, assets, and more sustainability data being top of that game. You need to define some key success criteria. You need to have some measurable objectives. And there are many different ways that you can consider that, but you need to consider AI return of investment. What is it that you want to achieve with your AI project? Is it resource optimization? Is it faster onboarding of data? Is it better data quality? It's probably a combination of all of them, but you need to consider that and stay focused on that. And then lastly, check your vendor to see that they're compliant with the EU, for instance, the EU AI Act regulation or similar, so that you make sure you address the risk and liability issue of a chosen AI-powered solution. With that, we're at the end, and Perttu was kind enough to give me the last word. So what's next? If some of what Perttu and Kaisa they told you about resonates with you, then why not take the next step with their data management maturity assessment from Solita? Solita, contact Joel or Perttu on email. You can see that on screen. And if you got interested in knowing more about master data management and Stibo Systems, if you want a demo, then why not reach out to Tom? He's also listed here on screen. So with that, I think it's a wrap. Thank you very much for listening and hope to stay in touch. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you all for joining this deep dive today. It's great to have you all here. So unfortunately, we couldn't be in the same place today with Jesper, so we had to pre-record the deep dive that you just saw, but we are here now live, and we'll spend the rest of the time answering your questions. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the Q&A tab. But let's get started with the first question. So, Jesper, next to data governance and good data quality, what are important aspects of leveraging generative AI?
Well, hi Kaisa and hi Perttu. It's good to be with you again. So when it comes to important aspects of leveraging generative AI in our experience, next to data governance and next to having a good level of data quality, the prompting in itself is a critical aspect. Prompting means the way that you ask the machine to give you a response. And I think we've all tried that with tools like ChatGPT and Claude and others, that if we ask a dumb question, we do not get the response that what we're looking for. So when it I mean, the important thing really here is that the prompting, that you ask the machine concise and specific question. You include commands like write, explain, compare. You use examples. You can use one-shot prompting, few-shot prompting. At the end of the day, combining master data management with generative AI, you need to obviously be sure that you include the right data from your master data set in the prompts. If you want to generate, for instance, a compelling product description of a product that you're launching in a campaign. So next to governance and equality, when to leverage to get good results from generative AI, it's really about understanding the prompting. It's a discipline in its own right. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jesper. And then the next question that was asked, so maybe Perttu could answer this one. So I would like to make an AI-based reporting agent. How should I get started?
Hello, everyone. I think this is really fascinating and inspiring, because it would be nice to ask the AI-based reporting agent with natural language that please give me some figures, some financial figures and so forth. But how to get started there, I think that the first thing is to get that kind of translation of the business language to the technical capabilities. And in our terminology, you can have it different, but in our terminology, it would go with data catalogs. So that data catalog would transform the business language to the technical conditions and queries. Another one would be that you would have the master data on place. If you are asking about corporate-wide products, so there has to be agreed definitions what the products means. So with these two, I think that you are on a good way.
Okay, great. Thank you, Perttu. And then for the next question, let's dive a bit deeper. Jesper, in your slide on AI success powered by MDM, you mentioned that data lineage is critical for trustworthy LLM use. Why is it so?
So data lineage is important as another part of the context of using a large language model or using generative AI. Obviously, you need your data points that can help you generate the prompt that you need. So you need the good, well-governed data. You need a high level of quality. You need a good fill rate of attribution to build the prompts that gives you the response you need, gives you the prediction that you need, whatever it is that you're looking for. Data lineage in this conversation is important because it tells you something about where the data came from and how it's being managed and how it's being governed, and that information is important as part of the context to build your prompt. A generative AI, an LLM needs context to understand what it is that you're asking. So if you can provide additional information about where did I get this data from that I'm now using in my prompt, that can give you a better result. So that's why data lineage is also an aspect of using generative AI with master data. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it answers. Then again to Jesper. So regarding compliance and AI governance, you mentioned the EU AI Act. So how do you as a business consider the EU AI Act?
From our point of view, what we've considered in regards to the EU AI Act is it's a big instrument of classifying AI models that are being used in your enterprise. And as a software vendor, we need to be able to demonstrate how we classify the AI models that we either embed within our own solution or that we integrate with. So, for instance, OpenAI LLMs on Azure are already guardrailed and safeguarded by Microsoft, but still we need to document how that happened and how they are classified. There are 4 different classification levels in the EU AI Act, and it's very important that you understand the risk, because it's all about risk and compliance. It's about risk assessment and making sure that you do not run any uncalculated risk in your business. And then it's all the way down to making sure that in the system a user understands whether a certain data field has been AI generated or it has been generated by another process. By highlighting and flagging to the user that this piece of information that you're reading right now has been AI generated. So it's a very long conversation about the EU AI Act, but it's very important that as a business, also when you run your own initiatives out there, that you understand how those AI models are classified and how, for instance, privacy is considered.
Yes, thank you. And then next we have a great question, and I think Perttu would answer this one. So how do you convince management to allocate the necessary resources for MDM and proactive data quality assurance?
I think that it would be a good idea to bring the AI development and AI initiatives and the traditional data management closer to each others. It can be a situation where both of the parties don't know that the other one exists even. So you may be having a data platform in Snowflake or Databricks, and then you are having some MDM development, but they don't talk with each other. So I think that it would be great if those parties, all the different parties on the data development side, would know about each others. And then if then a data scientist raises a question or worry or an idea that could we maybe add some attributes or hierarchies to master data to better comply with the data quality and enable the machine learning algorithms. So I think that then the management also would support the idea, and that's how we would get that kind of durable foundation for it. But I would say that bringing these initiatives together so they would be stronger, and also management, it would be easier for management to support them.
Great, thank you, Perttu. And then we have a next question, and either one can answer. So for an old legacy bank, how would you suggest making their data sources available via APIs through some type of data layer, and especially considering compliance and other regulatory complications?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think there's a lot between the lines there. I'm not sure what old legacy bank means, but first of all, any data that is made available through an API, you need to consider whether there is any PII related information associated with that data that you're making available through the API. If it is personally identifiable information, then you need to be extremely careful and probably keep it on the inside of some very secure data walls in order to not breach compliance with, for instance, GDPR and CCPA in California. So it's but there are many ways that it can be done once you sort of classify the data that you want to make available through the API. Anywhere from traditional data layers, and you can even consider things like Microsoft Fabric OneLake, or maybe even as a platform like ours, with master, good, well-governed master data in Stibo Systems Step platform, and then there are new ways to make data available through model context protocols, for instance. But that's a whole new game that we're now just starting to dive into. I don't know, Perttu, if you want to add anything to this.
Yes, I'd like. Thank you, Jesper. I would see that what kind of use case you are having for it. For an example, if you want to build some smart applications on top of that, so it would be a good idea to bring it to a data platform, like Jesper was saying. But consider bringing part of it real time, or business real time, so that if an event happens on the old legacy, so you get the information, you can pass that information for your vendors, for your customers, and so forth. So AI requires that at least core parts of the data and transactions are real time. So that is something to consider.
Great, thank you both. And we still have time for one question, and you can quickly answer it. So have you implemented classification model-based approaches to data quality management, i.e. classifying data automatically based on various attribute weights instead of exists/doesn't exist type of approach with MDM tools?
I can take that one for a start at least, and I know that we're running against the clock, but it's a very good question. So we have implemented various classification models in our platform in MDM. It's a very typical problem that we see when, for instance, retailers are onboarding tens of thousands of items from supply side over a very short period of time. Being able to classify all that data automatically is a super critical component of the whole information supply chain. And you can use various approaches. You can use things like something called unsupervised models. You can use supervised models. You can try to use LLMs in classifying that data. And it is based on not just whether the data exists or not, but also the actual information within the attribution that is available on the supply side items. So yes, this is something that we're excelling quite a bit in because it is an important part of moving data across the information supply chain.
Thank you, Jesper. And that was the last question that we have time for today. And thank you all very much for joining this deep dive. It was great to have you here, and have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.